Alright, I received this package here as a gift, and I had no idea what it was, and I thought, what in the world could this possibly be? And this little decal gives a hint. So check it out. What this is a tiny, tiny TV. And it has a tiny remote control. Although proportionally it is way too big for the TV. So what we have here, you have the 3 buttons on the top, which are volume and power and channel change, and then you have the USB-C connector on the back, and then there's just some tiny, tiny screws on the bottom. And there's nothing really much else to it. You have a little speaker right here. And these little legs, they're so delicate. So let's try pushing some of these buttons. This was an Indiegogo campaign that fulfilled in December of 2022, but they were just now shipping. This is as loud as I could get it. If I push the volume any further, it goes silent. Try it again. So that's as loud as it goes. It's not playing now. There it goes. The middle button powers it off. Okay, so now I know there's no labels there, so it's hard to tell. And then this button, assume, is channel. I kind of wonder why they went through the trouble of including a remote control, especially a big blocky one like this. But I guess if you're sitting at your desk and you just want to play a different video, click, you do that. But it doesn't seem to work from far away. You have to be dead on. Okay, so it has to be line of sight, pretty close there to be able to change the channel. So yeah, let's see if we can upload any more content or replace any of the videos that are on there by plugging it into the computer. Alright, over on their website, tinytv.us, there is a download that you can download in order to convert MP4 files over to the AVI using the different versions, whether or not you have the Tiny TV 2 or the Tiny TV Mini. So off camera, I went ahead and went through this process that I'm showing here. You run this program and then you select the MP4 file that you want to convert. And here it's one of those where you have to click yes, run, trust the program and run it. And then while I was here on the website, I was like, oh, let me check out what some of the information here on this page. So looking at the specs, it has a 26.3 millimeter by 23.8 millimeter by 21.9 millimeter display, a lithium polymer 3.7 volt 50 milliamp, about an hour of video playback, 8 gigs of built-in storage, about 40 hours of video playback, an internal speaker. It has a power button, volume button, channel button on the top of the unit. Can be controlled by IR, has a Raspberry Pi RP2040 processor. The connectivity is USB-C for uploading and charging the battery. So what I thought I would do here is take one of my shorts, in this case this Commodore 64 version of Prince of Persia, and see if I can do a conversion. Notice you have the scaling options. You have the letterbox, the cover zoom, or the fit/stretch options, and you kind of play with one you want, and then you go ahead and save the video to the location. Notice that you have to number it, so it's 1_2_ and the file name. And so I already added the trailer 9, and I think I'll make this one 10 with an underscore and let it do its conversion process. It's pretty fast, it's efficient. Remember, this is only a 64 by 64 display, so you're not going to be able to see the very little stuff that is on this display. So if it's already tiny and you're putting it to a tiny display, you're going to have a hard time seeing it. And then what I did was I processed Frantic Freddy, and I increased the audio because the audio came out way too low, so I doubled the intensity of the audio. So check this out. Watch as it switches to Prince of Persia. The audio is much lower. I left it default. And then I also uploaded Scout the Stray for Commodore 64, and watch the audio jump up because I processed it at a higher volume. And I just thought I would close the video out by showing how you plug in the USB-C to the back. Notice the LED on the bottom, and you are in USB mode. And when that LED is on, you are also charging. So that's how you charge the device. Here I show how you turn the device on and off, and then I demonstrate some of the channels on the device. Anyhow, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Alright, before I close out the video, once again I wanted to compare it to the Back to the Future Tiny TV Classic by Basic Fun. So I thought that would be an interesting comparison. You can already tell that this is a much larger TV set. This thing fits right inside of there. But let's check it out. With a real remote, working remote. Alrighty, it's a much more practical size. The remote is also much more practical. At least it's labeled. It doesn't look like a 3D printed afterthought, which is how this one looks with the tiny TV mini. And it feels like nothing. It's like a piece of cork or something. And then also the remote letters and things are labeled so you can tell where the power on and channel up and channel down are. According to the manual, this one actually takes 3 AAA batteries, and that's what gives it a lot of its weight. But looking around the unit, you don't see really where you can plug in a USB device or anything like that. But let's power it on. We'll just do a quick comparison on. Okay, so let's see if the power button will work. There we go. And then let me volume up. Okay, so that's full volume. It's a little scratchy. I'll turn it down a little. Let's see if the remote works. Okay, so just in general, remote remote seems to work better than the tiny TV Mini. Let's do the channel change. Still have to be directional, still have to be kind of right on it, almost. But at least size-wise, let's take a look. It is so much smaller. I'm going to try the power button again now that it's on. That's a nice effect, I like that. That's not something that the tiny Mini does either. But yeah, it is a much smaller device. You have the added ability to program the Tiny by plugging it into a USB-C port, which it's not obvious. There's probably a way to hack this thing. Some people have asked on my review video, but I don't have a clue how to hack it. But I do like the form factor better. It's much bigger. It looks like you could fit about, I would say the display is about 4 times larger. And it it's easier to kind of notice on your desk or somewhere. And it looks, I want to say it looks more like a television than this one. So anyway, that's the one by Basic Fun. They make other versions of this. It's not just Back to the Future. So there's a few out there. It says collect them all. So anyhow, that is kind of the quick comparison between them. Essentially, almost everything is better with the Basic Fun version, except the ability to upload your own videos. They made it easy to do that on this one.